Welcome to another episode of my SQL tutorial series. We're going to answer some questions on comparison operators. I have 4 questions here, and we're going to use the HR sample database we've been using for quite some time now to answer these questions. So let's jump straight to my SQL workbench, create a connection. We're going to call this connection HR sample. Hit OK. So now we have the HR sample connection right below here. So let me jump into the HR sample connection. So let's execute the HR sample database. So if you want to get a file for the HR sample database, look in the link in the description below. You are going to get the scripts there. They are in text file anyway. So I'm going to my file menu, open scripts. So I have them somewhere in a folder. So once you browse to the folder you've kept them, you may not see them until you show all files. So you have to show all files to be able to see them because they are in text. Alright, so you can see we have the HR tables and the HR data here. And because it is a relational database management system, we are going to create the tables first before we enter the data, because usually the tables are the repository that hold data in your relational database. So let me pick the tables. So the only thing I want you to do here is just to add one line of code, drop database if exists. So then you bring the name of the database. I choose to call mine UPSA HR. So you can change the name, but if you are changing the name, you have to change it in line 1 to line 3, because it's the same name there. Alright, so now this is it. And the only thing you may also want to do is to change the integer sizes. So you can see that here we've declared integer sizes here. So this was the old syntax. In the new rules, you don't need to declare integer size. So if you continue to declare it, maybe in the future it's going to remove completely, and then your database will have some issues. So you may want to take that off, but without taking it off, this code is going to run. So let's execute the entire code using the first execution button here. So you can see it's running, but they are indicating some warning signs. These are the yellow triangles here are warnings. So that is done. I'm going to open the data. So we have our tables. Then it's time for us to enter data. So let's get to open scripts, show all files here, and then we can pick the HR data. Alright, so we have the HR data on the workbench, and then you just have to execute everything using the execution button 1. So that is also running, and then it may take some few seconds depending on the speed of your PC. So now let's go to open a new script, and we can copy the questions. So I have the questions here. So the first question here is this. So I'm going to paste it on the query pane, and then read it out here. So write a query to compute the number of employees hired by the company after 1995. So we've just executed the database. We don't know anything about the database yet, so you may want to start by showing tables. So we can see show tables. So that way you can always know the tables you are dealing with in your relational database. Okay, so now we have what countries table, department, dependent, employees, jobs and locations and regions table. So that is 7 tables, right? Okay, so now we know the tables, and the question what I mean is requiring us to what look for employees hired date. Okay, yeah, you want to know the date they were hired. Yeah, so that is what is requiring us. So looking at the tables, which of these tables do you think will have what information on what employees hired date? So I will go for what employees table. Okay, so let's call all the what data in the employees table to be sure whether we have what hired date there. So let's select all from what employees. Okay, so this is the employees table, and then you can see that in the headings we have the hire date here. So it means we are going to work in the employees table if we are going to what compute the number of employees hired after 1995. Okay, all right, so now let's write the query to what answer the question. So we are going to what select, and then we'll call the count function because we want to count what number of employees. Okay, so we are going to select count, and we'll be counting employees IDs because every employee has an ID. Yeah, so count employee IDs. So as what want to count it as what number of what employees if you want to add what after 1995. So you can add that to the heading. So from then you bring the name of the table. So we are working in what the employees table. Now bring the condition. So I want to bring the condition down here. So where hire dates, okay, so we have it right here. The hire dates is here. So you should just make sure that the headings are consistent with the name you are writing there. So hire dates is greater than, after means is greater than what 1995. Okay, then you have to bring the month. So I'll just say what January 1st. Okay, then let's add the delimiter, and then we can execute the command. Alright, so we have the number of employees after 1985 to be 40. Yeah, but this cannot be right, okay, because I know this database already. I know the number of what employees are 40. So the number of employees after 1985 cannot be 40. It means all the employees were what hired what after 1995, and that cannot be true. If you want to check that, you can just count the number of employees to be sure. So we can also say select count. So this time we are just counting what all employees. Yeah. Select count what employee ID. Okay, then so from what employees. Okay, so that is 40, and then the number of employees after what 1985 is also 40. So that cannot be right. Okay, so there is a semantic problem, yeah, in this query we wrote. You know, the date, yeah, is not in quotes, so that is a problem. So we should put the date in quotes so that it can understand the dates. Yeah, it can understand the date as what 1985 January 1st. So let's execute it once more, and then you can see it's now 25. So when the date is not in quotes, it is 40. It means it's counting everything. Yeah, but when the date is in quotes, it means it has taken note of what that particular date, and then it is counting all the employees after what 1995 that were hired after 1995. Yeah, so that was a semantic problem. So you should take note of this. I mean, anytime you write your code and there is the date should be in what quote, especially when you are making comparisons. Okay, so let's go to what the next question. Yeah, the next question had to do with computing the number of employees in each department before 1990. So we now want to know the number of employees in each department before 1990. So let's put the question here and write the query below. Okay, so this one, we are interested in what's the departments, yeah, and then the employees. So that would be the employees' IDs and the department, and then we want to count them. So we are going to select, and then we'll use the count function here. So select count, and then we'll put what employee IDs inside the bracket here. Okay, so then we'll say as what number of employees in department, Okay, so then we'll bring the department ID. You can either bring it before or after. Okay, yeah, so let's put it after department ID. Yeah, so you could bring it before the count. Okay, all right, then you indicate the table you are working from. So the table is called what? Employees. And then let's bring the condition. So the condition is what? Where the higher dates is what? Less than 1990, because they are saying before, so that should be what? Less than 1990. But this time you should make sure you put the quotes there. Then let's bring the delimiter and execute this. Okay, so we have what 3 employees, yeah, before 1990. Yeah, but I mean, you can see that it has just put all the 3 employees together, but we want in each department. Yeah, here we are using department IDs as what the name of the department, or that represents the department. But there is one thing we've left out here, that is grouping them under department. So we'll just say what? Group by. Okay, so you need to bring group by department ID. Okay, so this will give us a different outcome. Okay, so you can see that it has broken it down into a department IDs. So there were 2 departments before 1990. Okay, that is department 1 and department 9. So let's see after 1990 how many departments did the company have. Okay, so a lot of departments after 1990. So you can see the IDs and then the number of employees given here. And also, like I said, you could bring what? The department ID before the count, so that you look at the department, and then you go to look at what the number of employees. So let me bring it before the count. Okay, so let's execute it. And then you have a department 2 with 2 employees, department 3 with 6 employees, department 4 with 1 employee, department 5 with 7 employees, and so on. Okay, yeah, so this is it. Okay, so let's go to the third question. Yeah, we have the third question here, so let me place it below. Okay. Alright, compute the number of employees hired in 1997 alone. Okay, yeah, so this time we are going to select count, but in a particular year. So select count, employee ID. Okay, then what as number of employees. Okay, then from what employees table. Yeah, then let's bring the conditions. So where hire dates, then this time I'm going to use like, but you can use equal sign as well, but I think like will be more yeah, effective here. So let's say like, then you just bring only the year 1997, and then you bring the percent sign at the back to take care of what the month and the day. Okay, so this is it. I'll put the delimiter and I'll execute it. Okay, so we have what 10 employees what hired in 1997 alone. So that is also. Now let's get to the last question there. That is question 4. It's asking us to generate a list of employees without phone number details in the HR database. So again, we are going to work in what the employees table, because we are talking about what employees without what some details. So at times your employees or your customers may enter some information and then fail to provide all the details. So this is how to what get a list of all those who fail to provide some particular details. So I'm going to select all from what employees. So let's select all from employees. Yeah, so we'll bring the condition here where phone number, so you should take note of how phone number is captured in your table. So where phone number is null, so it means the phone number is having a null value. So let's put the delimiter and then execute it. So this will give us a list here. So this is a list of all the employees with our phone numbers. So you can see the phone number column here is what null. So it means these employees, when they were entering their details, they either failed to provide their phone number details, or they were not even having phone numbers at that time. So maybe they have acquired phone numbers and then you want to update it. So you generate this list and you inform them to bring their phone number details and so on. Alright, so now let's also say if we were to count the number of these employees with our phone numbers. So you just bring in the count function to replace the select all. So this time we'll be selecting what count employee ID. So let's say count employee ID. So normally you should bring what the alias. So employees. So you could say employees without phone details. Employees without phone details. Okay, so just put that in quotes, and I think this is it. Let me break down the code so that we can see the entire code. Okay, so there are 6 employees without phone details. So it means if you want to know the employees with phone details, then you have to say, it's not now. Okay, so you just bring the not here, and then you have what the employees without what with phone details, because the database has 40 employees in total. So if 6 of them do not have what phone details, it means 34 have phone details. So let's execute it to see if we get 34. Alright, so we have what the 34 there. So 34 have phone details, and then 6 have what no phone details. So this is it. We are going to end this episode here, and then remember to subscribe, and then turn on the notification button, so that anytime we upload these videos, you are informed. All right, yeah, see you.